Picture this. It's South Florida in August. It's a fairly sunny day, hardly any wind, 90 some degrees, 1:30 in the afternoon, heat of the day. And me, I pick up my camera and go out to make photographs. Come back totally sweaty. My shirt is soaked just to get this raw file. And yet I was really happy. Let's talk about it. So I have a few mishmash of thoughts about photography that I want to get to. Hopefully it'll sound a little cohesive. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that photography is a voluntary hobby. It's something you do because you want to do it, right? I mean, I know it's kind of the obvious, and some people might say, well, no, because if you're being paid. I'm talking about if you're mostly a hobbyist, it's voluntary. Whether you travel and you take pictures on your phone, or whether you get up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and hike up the side of a mountain, not knowing what the sunrise is really going to look like, you do that because it's voluntary. There was a guy one time on one of the photo websites, I think it was Fred Miranda, and they have a section where you can say, oh, I'm traveling to X, Y, and Z. Have you been there? What lenses, what camera do you take, or what do you suggest? And there was a fellow who said, well, I'm going on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Alaska, and I'm only taking my iPhone. Okay. To each their own. That's one level of photography. If that's what he wants to do, and he feels like that's all he needs, then so be it. Then there's the person that takes a camera, takes a backup, takes 4 different lenses, 5 lenses, a drone, a tripod, the whole thing. Then there's that level. Do they come away with the same images? I don't know. I got to believe that the guy with the camera system, if you're going to print big photos, is going to come away with better images in the long run, but who knows? Bear with me here. I hope I'm going to make sense in a minute. I know sometimes I don't, but I'm trying. So the first point was photography is voluntary. The second part is it's hard work. I don't care what anybody tells you. If you really want to develop your skills, it's hard work. You have to carry your camera with you. You have to go places. You have to go out on a hot, sunny, 94-degree afternoon in the heat of the day in South Florida to try and get an image because you think that the concept that you're trying to do, that is the best time to get that image. You don't have a specific image in mind. In other words, you don't have the subject that you're going to shoot. You have an idea, you have a concept, and you push yourself to go out there to try and get it. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. And even if you don't, you're still happy with yourself. Why? Why? Why did you put yourself through it? Why did you get up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, hike 2 miles up the side of a mountain, maybe even in bear country in the dark, get up to the top, and there's clouds. You can't really see anything. And the sun, by the time it bursts through the haze and the clouds, you don't really get a good image, and you go back home and you're happy. Why? I think that's the secret to photography. I really do. And yes, you have to learn a lot of things along the way. You have to go through all the steps that it takes to get to that point that there's something in mind. In other words, there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. You're not doing it just because you've got an hour to kill. You're doing it for a specific reason. Maybe it's a project. Maybe it's just the pure passion of wanting to do it. And I think that that, to me, is the secret. I think that that is the difference between someone who likes to take pictures and someone who is that photographer. And I'm not laying judgment on who is what and why they should be this or why they should be that. Quite frankly, it's none of my business, and I don't really care. I'm not really here to try and tell you that you have to be that person that spends all your money and goes to Banff in September to try and get pictures of the leaves changing. I'm not telling you that at all. I'm not telling you that you even have to be the person that every time you get a day off, you take out your camera and you just walk around your neighborhood and make photographs. That's totally up to you. Or you take your camera to work because there's an image you see on the way every day and you think, boy, I'd really like to get that image, but you never take your camera. You never take it with you. So there's different levels. And I believe the difference is the understanding that photography is not a one day go out and try and take a picture thing. It's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong learning experience. The reason why I went out yesterday, and I don't want to give it all away because I may do a video on it in the future, I may not. It depends on whether I can, quite frankly, pull off what I'm trying to do. And the different stages that I had to go through to get to that day yesterday where I went out in the heat and walked all around, walked almost 2 miles in 94-degree heat, came home drenched, dehydrated, the whole bit. Not really sure I got what I wanted, quite frankly, but I was really happy to have done it. And one of the reasons why is because I think I learned something. I think I learned that for the particular project that I'm trying to do, maybe a partly cloudy day in the middle of the day at 94 degrees isn't going to get me the image that I think it's going to get me. It might take a cloudy day. I might have to wait until fall. I might even try it when I go to Banff. There's a lot of factors that go into it. And again, that's a lifelong learning experience. And you have to have passion to want to do that. Or you're just not going to do it. You know, these guys, and even the people on YouTube that make pretty much weekly videos that go and sometimes travel long distances and stress out their bodies and put out wonderful videos. Well, there has to be a drive. There has to be a passion for them to want to do it. People think, oh, it's all about the money. It's not about the money. It's just not. And there's a couple that are making money on YouTube. There's not that many, but there's a few. And they'll tell you that, yeah, money has something to do with it. But I'd be willing to wager that they could go off and do something else with their time and maybe make more money. You know, there's people that have come from different careers. Let's say somebody like Mark Denny, who is successful in a different career, and he's now turned it over and tried to make a living out of landscape photography. He'll probably tell you that he could have made more money. I mean, I don't know Mark, only through his videos, but he'll probably tell you he could have made more money staying where he was at. But he also admits in his videos he just didn't have the passion for it anymore, like he did with his photography. So you have to have the passion. You have to want to learn. You have to put yourself through these things. Otherwise, you're never going to be that photographer. And maybe you don't care to be. One of the downsides of it is, at times when I go away, or even when I go to the lake and look for the herons, sometimes I put too much pressure on myself. You know, I think, man, I got to go and I got to get a photo, or even make one of these videos now. I got to put out a video. I don't have to, but sometimes I put pressure on myself to do it. Why? Why do I do it? You know, and I've been self-reflecting on that. And I do think that even though I don't necessarily have a passion to put out these videos, the way I do to have a passion to make photographs, the videos kind of go hand in hand, and it gives me a little bit of a, I'm trying to think the word I'm searching for, not output, but it gives me a source of explaining what I'm trying to do. You know, if somebody told me you can never make another video ever again, but you're going to make 2 or 3 just killer images here in the next 6 months to a year, oh, I'd take the 2 or 3 images instantly. It wouldn't even be a second thought to me. It'd be a no-brainer. I'll take the images because I have a passion for that. But that comes, again, it comes with me putting too much pressure on myself sometimes. You know, I go away and I think, man, I got to come back with X amount of images or it's a failure. Well, you don't know what the weather's going to be like. We went to Smoky Mountains a few years back and the weather was horrendous. They actually had the remnants of a hurricane come through there the week we were there. The weather was awful. And I came away with, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 images I was semi-happy with, you know? And so I had done a lot of research and I knew where to go and I knew where to stay and I did all this planning and it was all for naught. And so I'm fighting that a little bit when I go, if you're a regular viewer, you know here in September I'll be away. I'm going to go to Banff National Park up in the Canadian Rockies. And yeah, I've done a little bit of research, but I'm trying very hard not to put the pressure on myself that I have to come back with this and I have to come back with that, as opposed to just go and enjoy it. And if you get some images that you really like, great. And don't worry about it other than that. But I've gotten to a point now where I realize, you know, I do this because I want to do it. It's not because I have to do it. I don't have to come away with images. I do it because I like to do it. I have a passion for it. And that's what motivates me and that's what drives me. If you take nothing away from this video, just realize that photography is voluntary. You don't have to do it. And so whatever level you're at, just enjoy the level you're at. If you want to go on a once-in-a-lifetime trip and just take your phone and be happy with, okay, yeah, I shared a couple pictures with friends on Facebook, okay. You know, if you want to be the guy that takes the drones and spare cameras and spare lenses and the whole bit, and be that guy and really, really dive into it and have a strong passion for it, great. Myself, I'm probably closer to the guy that takes the multiple cameras and lenses and the tripod. I'm probably closer to that guy, I'm sure I am, than the phone guy. But I'm also trying now to understand that it's okay to have a balance to it. It's okay to go and enjoy the trip and get a few photographs and be happy. Anyway, one last thing. What happens when you get to this point? As I'm filming this, tomorrow is the opening of a gallery exhibit I'm doing. If you've been following my videos, you know that I joined a local art league and they got stuck at the last minute. Somebody canceled on them. So I put together, I think 14 images, 12 platinums of mine that I had to go and put frames on and cut mat boards and order some frames and even print a few more platinums and get them over there. And I had 3 days to do it. Again, you have to have a passion to want to do it. But while I was over there hanging the show, and also I went back over a day or two ago and added a couple of more, there were several people that came up to me and were like, I've never seen this before. This is great. These are fantastic. Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's part of the reason why I do it too. That fuels part of my passion, is because people do appreciate it. People can see it for what it is. And because a lot of them were artists themselves, they understand the work that goes in to me doing these things. And lastly, the project that I'm working on, I'm not saying no one's ever done this method before. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is just yet. I may post a photo in the future and let somebody try and figure it out. I'm not saying it's never been done, but I've never seen it. I've never seen it in a gallery. I've never seen it in a museum. And there may be a reason why. Maybe it stinks and nobody likes it. That could be too. However, I've never seen it. And it involves two different processes and doing a couple of different things in post-production to those processes. And it does involve platinum printing, because I've really been into platinum printing. But I've never seen it. And that's what's fueling me right now, that passion to want to go out and maybe do this project and see what happens. Maybe I can put together 5 or 10 images that are only that and are very unique. You know, that's how you make a name for yourself. That's how you become unique. That's how you develop your own style, is just through time, a lot of work, a lot of effort, and slowly these things come to you. All right, that's it. I rambled on too long. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, take care. I'll give you an update on this gallery showing, see what happens. Maybe I'll even sell a print. All right, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye for now.